I love it when animation is showcased in unique ways. The new Netflix romantic drama Intergalactic is certainly a different presentation when it comes to this genre, but is it worth checking out? Intergalactic follows a young artist named Jabari as he attempts to balance love and success in New York. So this is the brainchild of Kid Cudi, who also voices Jabari, and it features hypnotic animation with some amazing music. The art style resembles what we saw in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where there are a ton of vibrant colors that even shift at points to resemble a printed comic book where the colors get offset just slightly at times. Now the character design feels a little like it's a rotoscoping effect, where the characters retain a lot of realistic look and feel, but are still obviously animated. At the very beginning, a few of the character movements are choppy, but aside from that, everything is fluid and really awesome to view. There are a lot of dreamlight sequences where the characters will become enveloped in their thoughts, and as this happens, the surroundings transform from city streets and buildings into space-like environments. And that fits with the whole intergalactic title, but because this is animated, we're able to experience the emotions and dreams of our characters in ways that would be very difficult to emulate in live action. And the animation really is enthralling to watch. I mean, especially because most of the time we watch the characters go about everyday life, but it's more transfixing because of the vibrant colors and the flowiness of the surroundings. And yeah, flowiness, that's a word. The transitions within the animations from scene to scene are also enveloping and beautiful. I mean, they allow visuals to morph, just creating a seamless style that flows really easily. And the use of shading, I think, is also a huge contributing factor to how awesome all of this looks. Characters, backgrounds, and all the settings, they're not flat. They have a depth that's created by hard shadow lines, which I found to be wonderful to look at. But okay, so the animation is stunning. That can only sustain us for so long. But the story, it's also engaging. I mean, it's quiet and a bit patient in parts, but it's a love story. Jabari meets his neighbor Meadow, and they are instantly drawn to each other. The conversations between them are engaging and they're cutesy, but then what adds a huge level of realism to the narrative is that both Jabari and Meadow, they have friends that they discuss their budding relationship with. Now, these conversations are crude at times, but also funny and even poignant. There's some truth that's shared with both of them by their friends that is almost unexpected, especially when it's coming from Jabari's friends, because some of them just don't look like people that you would think wisdom could come from. Macaulay Culkin voices one of Jabari's friends, Downtown Pat, and just based on appearances, you'd never expect anything profound to come from him. And I like that through most of the interactions, the characters and the dialogue were able to subvert my expectations, creating way more meaningful depth than I anticipated from this animated film. Now, I do think that some of the emotional weight in the story is minimized because of the animation. I mean, while we can see sentiments on the faces and in the eyes of our characters, a certain level is missing. There were moments where I understood the emotion, but I couldn't feel it. And it's not the fault of the actors or the story, it's just a consequence of the animation style. Now, I think the voice cast is spectacular, and the realism of the dialogue is refreshing. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is going to have conversations that play out like these do, but the delivery and even the content showcases an intimacy amongst friends where they speak just casually to each other, with this truth that's sometimes harsh, but it's not cruel. And it's believable and to certain degrees also relatable. This is 92 minutes long, and while the pace is patient, like I'd mentioned, it's not boring or even slow. I mean, we're following a budding relationship through its inception to the point where it could become meaningful. This doesn't outstay the welcome where I was wishing that it would wrap up faster, but I also wasn't clamoring for more when it ends. As I had said, it's just the beginning of a relationship that we're watching, so we don't get the full emotional arc of a couple that lives their lives together. I mean, it's just a snapshot. Now, Jabari is an artist, and the beginning of the film showcases how his art is creating a sustaining career. But along the way, the story just kind of forgets this arc. I mean, we see Jabari working at this comic organization, and then it's dropped for the majority of the story. His art is still highlighted every now and then, but the story isn't balanced when it comes to showcasing his passion for art and how it's becoming a successful career with balancing it in his relationship with Meadow. I mean, this isn't a huge deal breaker for the story, but it was noticeable. And luckily the film does circle back around, so it's not totally abandoned. I found myself sucked into this presentation. It certainly helps that I love differing styles of visual art, but the story was also engaging with characters that were sympathetic and relatable. It's not perfect storytelling, but I think there's enough here to offset any minor shortcomings. So overall, Intergalactic is a beautifully surreal animated film that's grounded through relatable characters and dynamic dialogue. The voice acting creates a realism that belies the dreamlike visuals. While small elements of the story feel forgotten for the majority of the film, the narrative captures character arcs that feel genuine and substantial. There's sex, nudity, a lot of profanity, but not really any violence. I give Intergalactic 4 out of 5 couches. What's an animated film that surprised you at how deep or engaging it was? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.